Now call to order the April 21st, 2025 Winterville Planning and Zoning Board meeting to order. Welcome to all of our board members. Happy Easter or whatever it is you celebrate or commemorate. We do offer our condolences to those of the faith who in the loss of the pontiff today. Next item on the agenda is the excused absences. We have Ms. Darlene Gardner.
That's the only letter we have received requesting absence.
Okay, what is the pleasure of the board regarding the excused absence for Darlene Gardner? Okay, it's been moved. Give a second.
Second.
Okay, moved and properly second. All those in favor use your voting sign aye. Aye. Any opposed is likewise. Gardner is excused. Approval of the agenda. Okay, moved and properly second. All those in favor of the agenda as presented, use your voting sign aye. Aye. All those in favor, all those opposed, use likewise. All right. Approval of the minutes from the August 19th, 2024 Planning Board, which was in the packet that was emailed to you by Stephen. If you had a chance to review those, we'll entertain a motion to receive those minutes, or whether the pleasure of the board. Make a motion minutes approved as received. Second motion. Okay, it's been moved and properly second. All those in favor use your voting sign aye. Aye. Any opposed, likewise. No. New business. First item, the consideration and recommendation to Town Council for the rezoning of the Hunsucker rezoning property. Staff.
Good evening, Planning and Zoning Board. I hope you all had a great Easter, and thank you all for being here on a beautiful Monday. We do have 3 items on the agenda tonight. The first one is the Hunsucker rezoning. So you all saw the Hunsucker rezoning a few months ago when they were proposing an R10 conditional district zoning, in which 10% of the site was to remain open space for the site as well. That was approved by Planning and Zoning and ultimately denied by Town Council. Town Council requested that the applicant get in touch with the neighboring properties and see if they can come to some type of agreement. And that is actually what we have here tonight before us. I will say this is the best example of 2 parties working together and finding a compromise I've ever seen. Neither of them got exactly what they were expecting in the beginning, but I think this is a really great compromise that both parties have expressed that is a really good project for the both of them. So with that, we will go ahead and just kind of show where it is located. So right here, we're talking about this 43-acre site off of Reedy Branch Road. So this is Reedy Branch Road, actually on the east side of Highway 11. So Highway 11 would be this way, just about 1 mile going north to south right here. We've also got Church Street Extension right here. And just to kind of give you a little bit of understanding location-wise, Ernest Lofton off of Reedy Branch Road, and Brookstone and South Brook neighborhoods just to the north. The applicant is Linwood Stroud and Matthew Hunsucker. Again, this is located on Reedy Branch Road on the east side of Highway 11, roughly 750 foot east of Ernest Lofton Road. It's a 41.33 acre site that is currently zoned agricultural residential. The rezoning request tonight is R12.5 conditional districts. The conditions that they are placing on this rezoning, the first one is that all lots adjacent to existing colonial woods shall be a minimum of 15,000 square foot lots. So if you look at this map, that would be any lot that is adjacent to the existing colonial wood subdivision. These will have to be 15,000 square foot lots, even though this is a 12,000 square foot minimum subdivision. That is a condition they are placing on it. Another condition that is being placed is 23-foot wide drainage easement dedication on the Hunsuckers property adjacent to Colonial Woods. So this portion right here adjacent to Colonial Woods, the entire area will have a 23-foot wide drainage easement. Two other components of the conditional district is that the homes must consist of fiber cement board, brick or stone, so pretty much no vinyl siding, and must have a minimum of 12-inch roof overhang or eaves. There's a lot of builders nowadays that will do very small overhangs and eaves, and I think this was something that both parties really wanted for future builders to have, and it does, I think, add a really nice touch to a home. As required, we notified the adjacent property owners and those within 100 foot and placed a sign on this site on April 9th, 2025. This is a boundary survey just to show the area that will be rezoned. Again, this was the 41.33 acres that we saw the aerial of. If we're looking at the existing land use, this parcel is currently vacant. In fact, all of the green that we see represents vacant land. So in this area, you've got a lot of vacant land, or you've got single-family detached. So you've got Colonial Woods, which is a subdivision of single-family detached. You've got some single-family detached along Reedy Branch as well. And just behind it, although it is vacant currently, Brookstone will be coming with a new phase fairly soon, as well as South Brook. So the northern area will be developing fairly soon. Looking at the current zoning, again, we are looking at agricultural residential on the project that we are considering tonight. Just to the south of it and to the east, you see agricultural residential as well. Just to the west of this site, Colonial Woods is R20. To the north, you have Brookstone, which is R10 in their next phase. Their first phase was R15 conditional district. And then you have Southbrook, which is an R6 and multifamily residential PUD, but that is due to the amount of environmentally sensitive land on that site. So really in this area, you have a wide variety of agricultural residential to R20, then R10 and R6, so a wide variety of lot sizes in this area. The future land use plan for this site suggests suburban residential. Suburban residential is explained as large lot, low density, single family residential. That's identified as what we generally see here in Winterville. This is what a lot of people have moved here for Winterville and the type of homes that we've seen over the past 20 years. The potential zoning districts is a R20, R15, and R12.5. Again, tonight they are proposing R12.5. There are potentials to consider R10 and R8 within this area if additional space and amenities are provided and if it's an appropriate location. One of the goals of Winterville is to reinforce the town's identity as a family-friendly community. That is our bread and butter. That's who Winterville is really known for. So we want the town to support rezonings in which the future land use plan suggests suburban residential or urban neighborhood areas on the future land use plan. We have not received any comments of concern or support for this project. Just a reminder, planning and zoning tonight serves as a recommendation to town council. Ultimately, a public hearing will have to be scheduled for town council to make a decision on this matter. Staff evaluation. The property owners previously requested an R10 conditional district in which 10% of the site was to remain open space. This proposal was ultimately denied at the January 2025 town council meeting, and council suggested that the applicant and the neighbors meet to determine an acceptable compromise. Again, I want to say that this is probably the most impressive compromise I've ever seen in the zoning department. Both parties did an amazing job of coming together and determining what they want and what they needed and what they could live with and what they couldn't live with. I think what we have tonight is a proposal that both applicants have worked extremely hard to bring before us tonight. Therefore, staff does support this rezoning. The area is dominated by single-family homes and agricultural uses. The comprehensive plan designates this area as suburban residential character area and supports an R12 zoning district. The applicant has also proposed some conditions above and beyond the requirements of the town and have worked with the neighboring property owners to alleviate some of their concerns that they had at the previous rezoning. Staff believes that today's proposal is an amazing collaboration between the two parties. The request is consistent with the intent and the purpose of the comprehensive land use plan and the future land use map. It is also compatible with the existing development and trends in the surrounding area. Staff recommends approval of the rezoning request from agricultural residential to R12.5 conditional district with a minimum of 15,000 square foot lots adjacent to Colonial Woods with a 23-foot wide drainage easement adjacent to Colonial Woods with the exterior restrictions and with the roof overhang requirement. Do we have any questions for staff before we invite the applicant and the community to speak? Thank you. First, I will go ahead and, hold on 1 second, place the applicant's presentation. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Matt Hunsucker, and I'm the applicant for this rezoning. I'm here representing my father and aunt, who are the owners of the parcel. I want to thank Stephen and the staff for all their help through this process. Mr. Penn did a wonderful job describing our application and the work we've undertaken to get to this point, so I will try not to be repetitive and move through this quickly. I don't know what is here, not. We invited our engineer to be here this evening for technical questions if you have any. He was not able to make it, but we'll do our best if you have any. First, I want to share that we've gone to great lengths to coordinate with our neighbors, and we're pleased to have them here with us tonight to support this proposal. We first wrote letters to all of our surrounding neighbors, spoke to several by phone, and invited everyone to attend a community meeting that we held here on January 30th, which was attended by several neighbors, Mayor Hines, and 2 city council members. After the community meeting, we then met on site with Colonial Woods residents and held some extensive conversations to arrive at the proposal you see here this evening. So on the R12.5 designation, we chose this because it's specifically called for in the land use plan. So we're pleased to help Winterville execute on its vision for this area. Our goal with the R12.5 was to create an attainable housing development while also ensuring that our neighborhood blended in well with the surrounding homes. As Mr. Penn highlighted, this area of South Winterville has existing zoning ranging from R6 all the way to rural agricultural. The only missing zoning is kind of your R12, R15 in this pocket. So with the addition of our rezoned parcel, residents can now enjoy the full variety of housing options. I'll spend a moment to walk through our conditions, which focus on 3 primary areas. First, adding a 15,000 square foot lot requirement adjacent to Colonial Woods provides a further transitional area to their R20 rezoning, or R20 zoning, excuse me. To ensure proper functioning of a drainage ditch between our property and Colonial Woods, we expanded the width of the drainage easement to better accommodate maintenance equipment and functionality. And we also instituted home quality measures to ensure modern design and visually attractive homes. So thank you for hearing us out this evening. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to attempt to answer them.
Any questions for the applicant? There being none.
Thank you.
Do we have any members from the community that would like to speak concerning this request?
Good evening. My name is Clifton Cahoon. I live at 3309 Davy Street in the Colonial Woods subdivision, and my property abuts the property being requested for rezoning. As has been stated, the town council suggested strongly that we all get together and talk and compromise. And the nature of compromise is that nobody gets everything that they want. Obviously, we would love to have seen a development with much larger lots. Our smallest lot is 30,000 square feet. We knew that was impossible to even get close to that. So we have negotiated some other terms, as you see, and in addition to the conditions that you see, we've also negotiated outside of this application some further measures, mainly a vegetative screening buffer along our lots. And we've done that in the form of a memorandum of understanding between us and the applicant. So with that, I'm here to speak in support of the rezoning with the conditions that we've established. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir. Are there any others?
Good evening. My name is David Lee. I live in Colonial Woods. My address is 3325 Davy Street. I also border the proposed project, and I wanted to come and voice my support as is presented to you today, as far as in the proposal, as well as some of the other additions that we had mentioned. But wanted just to voice my support, and that's it. Thank you.
Are there any others?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Coy Buck. I live at 415 West Smith Avenue in Colonial Woods. My wife and I, Brooks, built the very first house in Colonial Woods in 1988. And so we've been there for, I guess it's now 35, 36 years, and have not yet seen any kind of development beside of us, in front of us, behind us, et cetera. But we know that Winterville is expanding, and we do want to support any kind of growth that's going on around us. And we are excited to think that, we are going to have a neighborhood now beside of us, like the one that's being proposed by Matt and his father and his aunt. It's a lot more acceptable than what we initially started discussing. And I just would like to support the proposed zoning and other requirements that have been talked about tonight. Appreciate everyone that's been involved. And thank you, Town Council, for listening to us. Appreciate it.
Any other comments? There being none, this proposal or this recommendation set before us concerning the rezoning, our first item is with regard to consistency. Is it consistent with the town council's comprehensive plan
make a motion that it is consistent with town council comprehensive land use plan.
All those in favor, use your voting sign aye. Oops, I'm second, do I get a second?
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Using your voting sign, all those in favor, using voting sign of aye. Aye. Any opposed, likewise. Regarding reasonableness, the request is reasonable and in the public interest in that it allows for the land use to be harmonious of the surrounding land uses.
Chairman, make a motion that it is reasonable in public interest.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor, use your voting sign of aye. Any opposed, use your likewise sign. Now concerning the overall request to rezone the property in question, what is the pleasure of the board regarding the overall rezoning request?
Make a motion to approve the rezoning request.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor, use your voting sign of aye. Aye. Any opposed, likewise. All right, next item, Blackstone Section Preliminary Plat.
Thank you. And I do want to thank everybody here for that project. I think that was an incredible feat that you guys came together with. Okay, next we have Blackstone Section 3. Blackstone Section 3 is located near the corner of, near the corner of Old Tar Road and Vernon White Road. So this is the Kingdom Hall Jehovah's Witnesses Church right here on the hard corner. This was actually, believe it or not, part of the Blackstone subdivision when Blackstone was first being proposed. So the initial Blackstone subdivision showed kind of a little horseshoe design that would have had two entrances off of Vernon White. Later on, after the first phase was constructed, they sold this lot to the church. The preliminary plat was then changed to allow a larger lot here rather than individual small subdivision lots like you would see in a residential subdivision. And then this middle area had been sitting vacant for quite some time until today we have this proposal. The applicant is ARC. Scott Anderson is here with us today on this project. Again, this is within the existing Blackstone subdivision between Phase 1 and the Kingdom Hall Church. It's a 4.83 acre site in which they are proposing 12 single-family detached lots. This is an R12.5 zoning district. So this will have, again, 12 single-family residential lots, interconnectivity with the existing Blackstone Drive, and there is an existing fire lane that provides a second means of emergency ingress egress. And this was dedicated and required during the preliminary plat to revise this area of the subdivision. So when Kingdom Hall came to change the preliminary plat and build the church on the hard corner there, Town Council said, we'll approve everything, we just want a fire lane so that if anything ever happens at this entrance right here, then we still have emergency access into this subdivision. So that fire lane is in existence right now, and as you can see, this is the final plat as it's laid over the aerial. I have the final plat, or preliminary plat rather, in front of you as well to show the layouts. But as you see, Blackstone Drive continues through here and will continue into a cul-de-sac. This black line right here represents the existing fire lane. It will have to be marked and shown prior to this final plat when they're doing all of the construction, but it is actually already there. And then just showing that it's got lots on both sides of the street and then proposal of a stormwater pond up here as well. And this is just another image of the preliminary plat and how it extends from the existing subdivision. Winterville's Technical Review Committee has reviewed this preliminary plat for 12 lots. It meets the town's standards and subdivision ordinance requirements. Therefore, our TRC has recommended approval of this preliminary plat. Of course, if approved, it will eventually have to submit construction drawings and a final plat prior to homes being built. Are there any questions?
On the map, it looks like there's 13 lots. versus
So
12.
it's funny. This lot was labeled lot number 2. Yes, lot number 2 when it was final platted. So we had to actually skip lot number 2. So we go from lot 1 to 3 right here so that there's not any duplicates. And you can't use a duplicate lot for other legal reasons because it's cross-referenced everywhere as well. So we had to, it's kind of unique that it goes from lot 1 to 3 because of that, but good catch.
Any other questions for staff?
Stephen, I have a question about that emergency access.
Yes, sir.
You stated that it exists already. That may be the easy, my question, I'm not doubting you. But I have a thing about emergency access lanes, that it has to be able to support the weight of these emergency vehicles. And that usually means they have to be dug out, gravel installed, compacted, with a crown put on it. Is that in effect now, or is that
Yes, sir.
just the easement?
This has already been approved as a fire access lane to hold 75,000 plus pounds. So it has already been engineered and approved as a fire access lane.
Okay, thank you.
Now, everything will have to remain for this construction. So if they ever do any type of digging there, then all of that will have to be recertified, for instance.
But it has to be marked.
It will have to be marked, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Well, the fire department has all of the regulations of fire lane markings. I know it has to be marked. I don't know exactly to what extent, though.
That's fine.
Yes, sir.
Is the curb cut,
There is, yeah, you're saying kind of right here, is there?
that
a curb?
on Vernon White, well, of course, that's gonna change, but is there gonna be a curb cut there for that emergency lane?
No, this will actually kind of feed into their existing parking lot, sort of. So their parking lot is kind of right here right now. Of course, things are going to change once the Vernon White Road, but this goes to an area kind of to the right of the existing church and parking lot. The lane does. Oh, saying the aerial has a good representation of it. And then, yeah, you can see it kind of that one right there. And if you have any questions of the applicant too, of course, they're here.
I'm gonna go back to, where does that terminate?
Where does
The emergency access lane terminate?
Do you know, Scott, off the top of your head, where does the access lane terminates?
I know where it's,
At Vernon White?
yes, sir.
Yeah, so right now, when you come in to the parking lot, you'll come in to the Jehovah's Witness parking lot, and it kind of turns to the left. This access would continue straight off of that end of that driveway.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a question. Explain what the common area, what does common area mean?
Common area is just a stormwater pond.
Okay.
So that's where, yeah, all drainage will go in this case.
It's sort of confusing. I know we've seen this before, but it says that's what it is, stormwater pond. But when you say common area, it sort of seems like that's a place people can go and congregate, but you really can't. Correct? Or
It's property that is not owned by an individual lot, it's owned by the homeowners association, the homeowners association. So that's why it's called common area, because it's part of the HOA's maintenance and responsibility.
so they have to maintain the stormwater pond.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I want to build on that. There currently is no, Stephen, this is for you, there's no current regulation in Winterville to have fencing around a stormwater retention pond?
That's correct. A few years ago, I remember this was a hot topic in the town, and everybody looked at it, and they actually even sent it to the Stormwater Advisory Board to review. And I think they determined that it was not something they wanted to kind of go for, at least at that time.
Are there any other questions? There being none, concerning the preliminary plat for Blackstone section, what is the pleasure of the board? What is the pleasure of the board? Make a motion that the request be approved.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and properly second that the preliminary plat for Blackstone be approved. All those in favor, use your voting sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, use the likewise sign. None opposed. 11 at Main, final plat.
All right, and tonight we have 11 at Main Phase 2 final plat. 11 at Main is located near us right here. This is actually Main Street right here, and this is Highway 11. So this is the townhome development that was first constructed a few years ago near Highway 11 and Main Street right here. So this is, just to give a little bit more understanding where we are, this is Blunt Street right here. This is 11 at Main Drive, and it comes off of Main Street. And then this is Cruise Lane that comes directly off of Highway 11. This is the first phase of the development that is already constructed and on the site. Phase 2 is a 4.07 acre site. It's going to contain 57 single-family attached lots in 9 buildings. Again, located between Highway 11 and Mill Street. Phase 2 is just off of Highway 11. The zoning is multifamily residential. And when you lay this over top of the aerial, you can see these are the existing homes right here, even right here. So this is where we're going to be adding these new homes. It's going to come in onto this street, and this portion of this street is going to be added to. So again, these units and these units are to be added during this phase. This does match the preliminary plat that was approved by Planning and Zoning and Town Council, and the construction drawings that were also approved by Planning and Zoning and Town Council. Again, this is just a zoomed in image of the final plat. I have it in front of you as well with a little bit more detail if you want to see that too. Technical Review Committee has reviewed this final plat. It meets the preliminary plat, the standards of the town, and the construction drawings, and therefore staff does recommend approval of this final plat. We do have the applicants here as well if you have any questions of them, but do you have any questions of staff?
No question.
Thank you.
All right. Concerning the final plat for 11 at Main, what is the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion, we approve the final plat.
It's been moved and properly second for the final plat for 11th and Main Phase 2. All those in favor, use your voting sign aye. Aye. Any opposed, using likewise sign. None opposed. Staff report.
All right, don't have much tonight. I will say next Planning and Zoning Board meeting, I don't necessarily know we're going to meet yet, but if we do, then Board of Adjustment will fall directly behind us that night, because the following 2 nights we have budget meetings, so we're going to have to move the Board of Adjustment directly behind us. Other than that, I have included on the very last page of this agenda just kind of a quick overview of some of the commercial and residential projects and just some highlights of some things that are going on right now. We've got a lot of projects going on, but we really need some of these lots to actually hit the ground. So we've got a lot of people planning on them, a lot of reviews going on, but we're at the point where we just don't have a lot of lots actually on the ground. So we're looking forward to some of these final plats hitting the ground so we can get some more homes on the ground. With that, I will say we have received a preliminary plat for the parcel of land on the corner of Highway 11 and Vernon White, where the Vernon White house is. It's about 13, 14 acres right there that they've cleared some homes. They're proposing 5 commercial lots right there. We don't know yet what they are, and that's under commercial, or that's under preliminary plat review from staff right now. But we get that question a lot, you know, is anything moving forward on that property? And I will say we have received a preliminary plat for that that's under review. Other than that, I hope everybody has a great month, and if you need anything, certainly let me know. Thank you.
Comments from the board?
I like your summary on that summary page that you did for us today. That really helped me. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Any other? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn?
In a second.
Second.
Moving properly second. All in favor, use your voting sign aye.
Aye.
Meeting stands adjourned.
All right, all right.